guys, I'm home with a sick kid today, so we are going to do notes through a little video. So first thing is you should have this piece of paper in your notebook on page, I think it's 32, check with the sub, and then this one folded in half, it looks like that, taped into page 33, and you can tape it in after the video if you want. So we are going to still graph lines just like we did yesterday, but we're going to talk about graphing lines in other forms. So if you look at this equation right here, that equation is not in slope-intercept form. So we're going to practice changing it to slope-intercept form and then graphing our lines from there. So quick review, slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. So remember that m is the slope. And b is the y-intercept. Okay, so that's a little reminder about slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. Another form is called point-slope form, and this means that we plug in a point, a coordinate on our line, so an x and a y, and our slope, point-slope form. That would be the name of it. So this form is y minus y sub 1 equals the slope times x minus x sub 1. And this means that our line goes through a point with the coordinates x sub 1, y sub 1. So we're going to plug numbers in for x sub 1, y sub 1. And m is still our slope. Okay, so x sub 1, y sub 1 is a point on the line, and m is our slope. The last form that you need to be somewhat familiar with is standard form, and that is ax plus by equals c. And a, b, and c are all numbers, and they usually are integers, so positive or negative numbers. Okay, all right, so in our notes, we are going to first identify, part A says identify the form each linear equation is written in. Okay, so we're going to use this guy to help us identify what form it's in. Then we're going to write that equation in slope-intercept form by solving for y, and then finally we'll graph it once we have it in slope-intercept form. So first thing is we need to look at this equation, y minus 3 equals negative 2 times x plus 4, and decide what form it's in. So that equation matches point-slope form. Okay, y minus a number equals the slope times an x-coordinate. So the first thing we're going to do is part A, we're going to say this is in point-slope form. So that is written in point-slope form. The second thing we're going to do is write it in slope-intercept form. So to write it in slope-intercept form, we have to solve for y. So for part B, we have the equation y minus 3 equals negative 2x plus, 2 times the quantity. Sorry, my video is all over the place right now. X plus 4. Okay, so there's our equation. So we want to isolate y, and we want to get y by itself. So the first thing we're going to do is distribute this negative 2 to get rid of those parentheses and clean this up. So that's going to give us y minus 3 equals negative 2x minus 8. Y minus 3 equals negative 2x minus 8. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to move this minus 3 to the other side so that we get y by itself. So we're going to add 3 to both sides. And that's going to give us the equation y equals, so we add 3 to both sides, negative 2x minus 8 plus 3. And negative 8 plus 3 adds to negative 5. Okay. So now our job is to graph this. So that is written in slope-intercept form. That is part B. Part C is to graph this. So in order to graph an equation in slope-intercept form, the first thing we need to do is identify the slope. So m equals, that would be the coefficient in front of x, -2. And because it's slope, we would like it as a ratio, so -2 over 1. b equals -5. So we're going to graph this. We're going to begin with b. So go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Plot our y-intercept. And from here, we're going to go down 2 over 1 because our slope is -2 over 1. So rise -2 means go down and over 1. Down 2 over 1. And then we're going to work backwards. And then we're just going to connect those points into a line. So okay. So to review, we identified the form that was in point slope form. We solved for y to put it in slope intercept form, y equals mx plus b. Then we graphed it by identifying m and b. That's number 1. Number 2, we're going to do the same thing. So the first thing we need to do is identify the format. So this one says x plus 4y equals -12. So if we go over here, we've got our x term plus our y term equals a constant. So that would be standard form, the last choice at the bottom. So for part A, we're